Was a small town girl just trying to survive. Married far too young without a hope or dream inside. Locked in a prison, not of her own making. To someone who never gave, just did all the taking. She needed a prince to pull her from that crumbling tower. A knight in shining armor in her darkest hour. Someone to free her from her life and chains. Someone strong enough to carry her away someday. Bet you met someone. They both shared a stage, but she was still too scared. So Lucy ran away, as fate would have it. Later on that year, fate brought him back around, but she was still so full of fear. She needed a prince to pull her from that crumbling tower. A knight in shining armor in her darkest hour. Someone to free her from her life and chains. Someone strong enough to carry her away someday. That someday never came. Not that he didn't try. She just loved him way too much to let him ruin his life. But what he gave to her late one Memphis night became the strength she needed to survive. He was that prince that pulled her from that crumbling tower. A knight in shining armor in her darkest hour. Someone to free her from her life and chains. Someone strong enough to carry her away. Elvis gave her Desiree. Elvis gave her, oh how hard he tried to save her. Elvis gave her Desiree, making love all night and day. They swore their love would stay. Elvis gave her Desiree.
So guys, I'm going to pause this. I have decided that we need to review Rare Elvis photos, Rare Elvis photos, Desiree and Lucy video. We're not going to review all of it. We're just going to play just the beginning part, and we're just going to read some of the comments that go with it. Now, I need a shave. Look, I need a shave, guys. So I've had a busy morning. There's a few things I wanted to cover. So the topic of today is going to be the book Are You Lonesome, and by Darby, the author. And we're going to what we're going to try and do in a respectful, kind way, without upsetting people. We're trying to flush out people's views on the book, on Desiree and Lucy, on the author. We know that the author has been joining the Facebook pages and has been debating the truth. Obviously Darby, the author, thinks the book, completely stands by his book. And then obviously the Elvis fans either believe it or don't believe it or are on the fence. Yeah. My position at the moment is, I think, as the host of Defending Elvis Presley, you know, we do 2 lives a day. It's Defending Elvis Presley. Fans want the truth. I think as a host of a show like this, now we don't just defend Elvis, we also are an Elvis channel. So we will talk about topics like Lucy and Desiree. We will talk about topics that have nothing to do with defending. So please don't label me as just a defender of Elvis and the bloodline. Yes, I do that. I love doing it. I do it every day. I defend Lisa every day, Lisa Marie Presley. But I'm also an Elvis channel. So we will discuss different things that have nothing to do with defending. Yeah. Now, I've had, do you know what? The video we did yesterday, the live stream we did yesterday, I know that the author of the book has watched it, and I have had some messages. I don't know. Can I ask Kathy, are you watching? Are you here, Kathy? I haven't listened to your last voicemail. Hi, Kathy. So, Kathy, I'm sorry, I didn't get your last voicemail. So what? It's this. I'm going to just take my time. I'm not going to rush into this, guys. We're just chilling over a cup of coffee. I ordered the book yesterday. Let me just click on it. Now, the one thing that is really important to me is, however we cover any topic, but of course this one, I want to do it in a kind way. I want to be respectful. I want to be fair. I don't want to be sat here so we can all hate on people, or so we can all say nasty, cruel things. Now, if we disagree, that's completely fine. We can disagree, agree to disagree. We can give our arguments. We can give our points of view. Of course we can. And some of your points of view are very passionate. Yeah, that's fine, guys. But ultimately, we must have respect. And even with the author, let me just, I want to get the book up quickly. So I don't know do any of you here have the book? Are You Lonesome Tonight? Do any of you have it? I'm just interested to know. So we've had that. Let me just show you a picture of it. Yeah, mine is coming today. Sorry, the sunlight's back again. So we've had Darby Matera is the author. Kathy, I hope you don't mind me saying, Kathy has a very good friendship with the author of the book, Are You Lonesome Tonight? Now, I think what's happened is the book sort of was almost forgotten about. You know, not fully, but you know what I mean, guys. It hasn't been main news for a long time. I think, am I right about this, Kathy? I think that because Rare Elvis Photos covered the book, let me just raise this up a bit. Because Rare Elvis Photos covered the book, I think everyone's talking about it. Would you say that sounds right to you, Kathy? That it's become news again because, yes, suddenly everyone's talking about it. Yeah. Now, remember, we are Elvis fans. Yeah, we are Elvis fans. So, some of the this is what I've noticed. Some of the Elvis fans are quite upset. Yeah, quite angry. They feel that this book is doing harm to Elvis. They think that this book is slander, is fraud. Yeah, that, you know, they're very defensive and protective over Elvis. Now, I don't see it like that. I don't see it like that. I see that we cannot prove 100% either way, if it's true or not true. This is how I see it. Yeah, the book came out. What year did it come out, Kathy? Now, if any of you want to ask Kathy any questions about the book, please go ahead. She's friends with the author. She knows Desiree. She's here to answer any questions you have, but please be respectful. Please be respectful. Kathy, all right, 1987, the book came out. Now, remember, guys, I'm learning. From 1 to 10 on this topic, I only know about 2. That I've got a lot to learn. I am no expert on this topic. No expert. Yeah. Kathy's here to help us with some information. So what I thought I would do is play a bit of Joe Sin's video, just a little bit, just to get a feel for it. Then I was going to start reading the comments on Joe's video, and just generally get a feel as these subscribers start joining on to us. There's 30 of us at the moment. I did want to just mention a couple of things. Thank you for all the support you guys have given me when it comes to, we had a problem with a YouTube channel that was being quite nasty. Thank you for your support. I've seen it on the Facebook page, Defending Elvis Presley's Facebook page. Thank you for your support, guys. Many of you have jumped in and said, you know, are you okay, Louis? You know, please don't worry. Please don't worry. I'm completely fine. It didn't affect me at all. And I completely forgive the YouTube channel. I have no bad feeling to them, and I wish them well. And it's time to move on. Yeah. But I do appreciate you guys jumping in and showing me support, because that means everything to me, because you guys are my family. So thank you. Of course, we have a coffee. Now, I just wanted to quickly bring up the 24-hour chat, Defending Elvis Presley. I just want to say to you guys, I shut down the chat and I've restarted the chat. Please join it. It's a 24-hour chat. You go on to Defending Elvis Presley, the Facebook page. You join the chat. You join the page. It's all free. You can chat 24 hours a day. You can talk about different topics, not just defending Elvis. We are not just defending Elvis. We are an Elvis channel. I really want people to understand that. Yes, we defend Elvis and the bloodline, all of them. Lisa Marie, Riley, Finley, Harper, Gladys, Vernon, Benjamin. We defend them passionately, but we are also an Elvis channel. So we will release new information that comes up, whether it be the Bridget Cruz trial with Priscilla or anything, or even if it's, you know, like I was so lucky that a few of you have bought me books. So Karen bought me this. So we're going to read a chapter of this. Linda bought me this. So we will read a chapter of that. And lovely Elaine, who's busy today as usual, got me this. So any of you that want to send me a book, guys, I love books. Send them to me. I'm trying to force myself to read. I hate reading. I'm forcing myself to read. And I want to go through all these books with you guys. And of course, soon we are going to start reading this. We've done chapter 1, but I don't want people to think that it's being swept under the carpet. We are going to start reading this book soon, very soon. Yeah. We are going to get justice for Lisa Marie Presley. So she is not forgotten. With all these other topics, she is not forgotten. So we will be doing it, guys. Karen, please know I am going to cherish my books. I'm going to cherish. I love my books. I'm going to buy a special cabinet for them. And I'm hoping that one day I will have a special room with a desk just for us as Defending Elvis for my books. Yeah, any of you guys want to send me books, please do, guys, because they're important to me. They're part of what we do. So, so with the 24-hour chat, I shut it down because there was too much arguing. Now, the 24-hour chat is a place for people to become friends, to exchange gossip, research, pictures, videos, to get to know each other. It's all about being nice. Now, people are allowed to come in and have their points of view and say what they want to say. We have to respect people as adults. You are going to have different opinions. A typical example is the Lucy and Desiree book. Typical thing, yeah? Now, that doesn't mean that we can hate on those people or be rude or be nasty. Now, we can agree to disagree. I feel that people have the right to believe Lucy and Desiree and Darby's book, and they also have the right to not believe it. Yeah, either side of the camp, or even if you're just on the shelf, people have the right without being insulted or attacked or hated on. The 24-hour chat is a chat where we show respect, we defend, or we discuss things from a place of love, a place of kindness. Yeah, very important. Anyone that is rude on the chat, I'm just going to delete them. The chat has to come from a place of love, a place of kindness, from a good heart. It's very important to me. Yeah, I don't care how much research someone has done. I don't care how well someone is researched or how much of an expert anyone is on Elvis, because there's many of you that really know your stuff. Many of you, yeah. My chat on my channel, Defending Elvis Presley, Team Elvis, will be kind, will be friendly. And if someone comes in and they're wrong, we will politely show them that they're wrong. We won't surround them and squeeze them out. We won't do that. We're not a pack of wolves, yeah? We will politely and friendly exchange ideas, exchange research, pictures, videos, interviews, you name it, documents, and then we will treat them with respect, yeah? Now, of course, if someone joins our chat that is rude, then, yeah, we're going to delete them, yeah? But we're going to be kind on that chat, guys. We're going to be kind. So I've restarted the chat and I'm hoping that we just all treat people well. It's really important to me. So I wanted to mention that. Now, let's just quickly check your comments. Sorry, I was attending my puppy who is special needs. She was born with a condition where her back legs don't work. Ah, we love dogs. We're very dog friendly here, Kathy. So I'm going to play a bit of this. And I'll be honest with you, I have not planned how we're going to do this. We're going to just see how it goes. Right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a bit of Joe Sin's video. Just see how he introduces. He's going to speak to Darby Matera, the author of the book, Are You Lonesome Tonight? That is, you know, we know the story, guys. That Desiree is the secret child of Elvis. That's the story. And Elvis had a 20-year affair with Lucy. So if any of you want to ask Kathy questions, she's here to answer questions. Now, I'm not saying I believe it or I don't. I'm saying we should discuss it. We should look into the facts. We should, you know, air our views. So let's go.
Kind of putting to work investigating John Wayne being there, and they're finding these news articles and stuff of John Wayne being in Alexandria, stuff that you researched yourself about this. So there's quite a few people that have been sending me a lot of different stuff, and that's what I was just trying to pull up a few things. But I'm gonna stop sharing real quick.
I don't think it's any doubt that John Wayne filmed that movie in Alexandria. I mean, that's obvious.
This is what a lot of people that are the naysayers. You know all about them. You're like going in. But the naysayers are like, how could she have known Elvis? How could she have been a lover of Elvis and have a child? And then all of a sudden she meets John Wayne and all this stuff. Well, first off, this is 1957, 58, 59. And it's not like, you know, places like Alexandria didn't exist for movie sets, for people to come and filming. So I just, what I tell people is when I'm reading the book, hey, here's a date, here's a radio station, like the Mr. Melton. the guy that owned the radio station in Alexandria, when she went up there to move in with her sister and have Desiree, the baby. Well, people are like trying to find Mr. Melton in the radio station because for them, the more they can find that's tangible, the more they want to believe. You know, they say Thomas had to touch Christ's side in Christianity. Jesus said, you know, because you've seen, you believe. Blessed are those that have not seen, but yet still believe. That being said, we're not talking about Jesus. We're talking about something that a lot of people have a problem wrapping their head around, and they're finding proof themselves of these places, of Lucy's existence, you know.
And you know, it's interesting you mentioned Jesus, and I was just thinking that, remember I told you Desiree did her DNA and the ancestry and all that, and it turned out she's got no father at all. She had no paternal match. I guess she was a virgin birth, like Jesus himself, the king, must have been had magical powers, because she's probably the only one in history that has no paternal match on that. So that's interesting. I had an opening statement too.
Well, take your time. You got to do it.
This opening statement, because I wrote some paranormal books. I don't know if you're into that or your audience, but I wrote a book called Child Life, children who come back and talk to their parents from the beyond. You know, mothers that are so crushed that they lost a child and then the child contacts them. I wrote a whole book about that, 56 cases. So kind of paranormal is something I've come across. And today, while I was working out, I was listening to sports radio, and another station bled over from California or Mexico, and it was Elvis singing Kentucky Rain. Can you believe that? This is just this afternoon. And Kentucky Rain was his powerfully emotional story about searching for a woman that he can't find, a woman he loves and he lost. Now, all the naysayers, who in Elvis's life did he ever lose? What girlfriend or woman did he ever lose except one woman who hid from him for 10 years? And that was Lucy. And that song must have really resonated. You know who wrote Kentucky Rain? You may even know.
Ronnie Millsap? No.
Ronnie Millsap played on it with Elvis, and Eddie Rabbitt wrote it.
Yes.
But they gave it to Elvis, and he grabbed it. And he sings so emotionally. That's what my opening statement is. Anybody reading along with the book, if you want to get how Elvis felt when he lost Lucy for that decade, just play that song and listen to it with new ears. Now, he recorded that after he got in contact with her again, but then she tried to escape him again. So it resonated with him, Kentucky Rain, and he really pours his heart out in that song. You can tell that there was some meaning. And again, I defy the naysayers to tell me who did Elvis lose in his whole life, that he didn't know where they were or couldn't find them. One woman in his whole life that was close to him that he had lost, and it was him and a daughter. So that song, so I suggest all the readers play Kentucky Rain. You probably have sang it. I was listening to your videos during the delay, man. You got a great voice. You did Blue Christmas and that song. Kristen, your wife?
Yes.
Wow, beautiful lady, beautiful voice. That song about the wine, I didn't even know what that was. Never even heard of that. What is it?
Muscadine. It's a southern grape.
Yeah, that was beautiful, beautiful video. I suggest everybody listen to that. Great song and beautiful wife you have. Tell her I said that.
I will.
Right. Shall we? Is it now? I may as well. We're not in a rush, guys. So I'm going to carry on playing more snippets of this. Should we play Kentucky Rain? Have I got the right song? Should we do it, guys? Who wants to hear Kentucky Rain? Have you got time, guys? We're going to be here for a few hours. Anyone want to listen to Kentucky Rain?
That did pretty good for me. I'd like to sing for it.
Oh, love it. Love it. Right, guys. So I'm going to carry on playing Joe on Rare Elvis Photos. By the way, I highly recommend Joe. I love his channel. I actually think Joe has been quite unfairly treated because he passionately believes in the book Are You Lonesome and Desiree's story, Lucy's story, obviously Dari's the author. I think he's been given a bit of flack. I don't think he deserves it. I think I know that Joe Sins is an Elvis defender. I know that. I've watched enough of Joe's videos to know that he loves Elvis. He's a true fan. He's a talented man as well. He's a great singer. I know that there is no malice. He's done his research. He's looked into the evidence, and from his point of view, and that's his right as a grown man, he believes the book. He's done his research. He's broken down the facts. He believes it, and that is his right. Now, that doesn't mean that he should be hated or be hounded, or people should unsubscribe, or that people should attack him. It just means that's his opinion. Now, I'm on the shelf. Yeah, I'm not going to say that I believe it. Yeah, you won't hear me at this point of my research. Yeah, you won't hear me say I believe it. You won't hear it. Yeah, so I understand that everyone's becoming quite defensive on this topic because it's all suddenly been brought up again because of Rare Elvis Photos is obviously reading the book. I love Rare Elvis Photos. I love the fact that he's reading his books. I love it. I really enjoy. No, actually, that's not true because I haven't watched that many. I really like that Rare Elvis is reading all these different books to you guys, so you guys can sit home nice and relaxed in the comfort of your homes and listen to Joe Sins telling you stories. I like that. It's a good thing. We also do it here now, not as much as Joe. I don't really enjoy reading, so I will just read the odd chapter now and then in a different book. But Joe has made it quite a large part of his Defending Elvis channel, which is Rare Elvis Photos, and it's great. I've got nothing but good things to say about Joe. Nothing but good things. He's a very respectful, kind, and friendly man. So please don't give him a hard time because he believes the Lucy Desiree story. Yeah. Now, to the people that don't believe it, yeah, it's fine, guys. It's okay. You don't have to believe it. It's fine. If you've looked into it and you have many reasons why you disagree, you've broken down all these reasons, you've done research, you've what's the word? You've found evidence to disprove what's in the book. Fine, that's fine, guys. It's good. We can all agree to disagree. We can debate. No one has to believe it. No one has to not believe it. You can also be in the middle and just go, do you know what? I don't know, which is where I am. I'm like, don't know. Now, I will say this, guys. I will say this. Elvis has one child, Lisa Marie Presley, yeah? We all miss her. We adore her. We grew up watching. We grew up watching Lisa Marie grow from being a small child, and we all grew up with her. Yeah. So there's a lot of affection there. We're very protective to Lisa, protective on behalf of her father, who of course we adore. But I will say this. To 100% think that Elvis had no other children other than Lisa Marie. If you think that, that's completely fine. But I don't think any of us here, there's nearly 40 people, and anyone that watches this live stream later, by the way, good morning if you're just waking up in America, because I know you guys in America are still asleep or just waking up. Good morning to you people around the whole world. In the UK, the UK subscribers are growing and growing. You're really becoming a big part of this channel. Thank you so much. And Canada and Australia, we have got a big following in Australia. Just all around the world, thank you for joining us, Team Elvis. Yeah, but I will say this, and I'm going to ask this question. Can I ask this question of you? There's 36 people watching at the moment. How many of you think there's a possibility that Elvis did have another child? Forget the book. Forget the Desiree Lucy book. Are You Lonesome Tonight? How many of you here think there is a possibility that Elvis had another child that we don't know about? I'm just asking that one question. Nothing to do with the book. Just that one question. Right, I'm just going to, whilst you're collecting your thoughts, guys, I'm going to quickly check the comments. Hi, Julie's. So Julie's, are you a believer? Julie, you've just said, thanks, Kathy, for your response. I think the poem is proof Lucy told the truth about her and Elvis. Yeah, is that so? Julie's, are you a believer? Right, has Kathy put something? Let me just go back on the comments. Did I miss something that Kathy said about the poem? Sorry, Kathy, it was proven as Elvis right, okay. It was proven as Elvis's handwriting. Elvis Presley Enterprises took the poem, saying it was Elvis Presley Enterprises property and refused Desiree to put it in his book. Now, Kathy, how was it proven? What documents do we have to prove that? Okay, then we go. Kathy, someone's asked her who owns it. Who owns it now? I don't know, but it is now on the internet for everyone to see. Right. Kathy, can you send me the poem? I'll read it out. Kathy, please send me the poem. Yeah? Let's have a look. Lucy had a poem. She had told Desiree about the poem. It would never show Desiree. She eventually showed him the poem. Desiree had it analysed by handwriting experts. Do we have proof of that? Kathy, proof that handwriting experts proved the poem that was written by Elvis. We need documents. If you send them to me, I will show them here. Yeah, I'm just going to keep going back. Right, so Karen says, yes, when you've read the book, a lot of Elvis songs do make you think about Lucy's book. Thank you. Julie's, can I ask you a question about the poem that wrote for Lucy? Is the poem owned now by her daughter Desiree? Right. Okay. Thank you, Julie. I'm going backwards, guys, because I'm trying to catch up. I don't have anyone to talk like that with. I used to do my grandma. She was a fan. I'm trying to convert the kids now. Yes, we all are. My little kids love Elvis. I'm slowly changing their opinions. Right. Let's keep going. So from what Kathy's saying, Elvis Presley Enterprises took the poem, yeah? So, and we're trying to say, where is the poem? Who's got it now? So, Kathy, have you sent it me? Let's have a look. Can you just send me the poem, Kathy? Or can one of you just send me the poem? Let me just, I'm going to carry on playing Joe Sin's video a little bit as well. So we can still, whilst this is playing, we can still discuss things on the chat, yeah?
You know, there's a part in the video where her bracelet falls. You may not even have noticed that and seen it and recorded it. See, you don't even know.
I don't think
She's
so.
kind of reaching out for you, and a couple of her bracelets fall down her wrist.
Okay.
In the video, that to me, that was a moving moment. My author's eye looking at that video and seeing her bracelet. I don't know why that touched me. I guess I'm in psychic world today. But
well, I like it. And the funny thing is, the guy that directed and produced that with my wife and I was Pope John Paul's videographer. So he also produced Nash Bridges, the TV show. So the guy
Nash Bridges, Don Johnson. I'm dressed like Don Johnson.
Yeah, you are.
That's my Halloween outfit for the last 30 years. Miami Vice, big hero. Great. Wow, what a small world.
Yeah, his name was Julian Chosnocki, and so he probably saw that. Now we didn't because we're just singing and all that other stuff. But he probably captured it.
You didn't even notice it to this day. You're going to have to go back and all your fans and the people are going to have to go back, watch the moment where her bracelets fall. I don't know why that struck me as very romantic. But the camera was focused on it, almost like it was planned. But I bet it wasn't. She wears a lot of jewelry, your wife.
Yes.
She had 5-6 bracelets on. That's cool.
There's never too much jewelry.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we went shopping for a straight week before the video. That's kind of a sore point. My budget went really up because she wanted to shop for more clothes and more jewelry. But you got to do it when you're doing a video. You got to do it up big.
And I bet she planned those bracelets for a long time, and you have no idea what they mean to this day. She'll get on and tell us exactly what they mean.
You're right. You're right about that.
Oh, and the car, that you still got the Mustang?
Now, that's not my car. Now, I grew up with my first 30 cars, or 31 cars, were all 1970 and older cars. Even when in the 90s, when I was a teenager, I had that wasn't the car that I owned. That's something we rented.
Oh, you rented? Okay. I'm kind of a car guy. I have old cars too. I can't. Every time I go to buy a new car, I go to the dealership and I come back with a '68 Camaro found in the back used car lot.
That's great.
People yell at me. You were supposed to get a new car. Now you got another junker. But I'm gravitated to that. But yeah, that's a very beautiful, well done video, and you sing beautifully.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Like I said, I always tell people on my channel, I grew up loving Elvis, and he's the reason I sing, and so, and singing emotionally. That's the thing, too. Elvis was he emoted so well, like you talked in Kentucky Rain. Did you ever do a tribute and dress up like him? I didn't do the dressing up like him because I don't look like Elvis. Now, there was a time in 1997 in Nashville when I just got to town that I took part in a talent contest, and it was the winner got to sing with the Jordanaires and go on the road. And so I was an Elvis fan, so I had a green suit jacket, and I was doing Jailhouse Rock and all this other stuff. And I got to the finals. It was me and a guy named Dwayne Adams, a big guy that sang, "This time, Lord, you gave me," the mountain song. He has a big voice, just like he.
Okay, guys, we're back.
And I thought everybody was already calling me Little Elvis in California before I moved to Tennessee. They were starting to call me Little Elvis at the Nashville Palace.
Oh, thank you, Kathy.
And I thought, do I want to be known as an imitator? And so in the finals, instead of singing an Elvis song, I sang Garth Brooks' "To Dance." And so I lost. And I got second place. And I got $2,000. And I didn't go on the road with the Jordanaires.
He's had a very interesting life, Joe Sins. I was reading something the other day. I think I was watching one of his videos, and he met a very famous female singer. Oh, what was her name when he was a boy? Oh, I forget her name now. Right. Okay, so Kathy has sent me. Let's have a look. Well, Kathy has sent me the poem, "Seen Only by the Eyes of My Love, You're My Life." Right, okay, let's read it. Now, I've never read this poem, guys. This is obviously part of the evidence, and this is, give me some info, Kathy, about this poem. Elvis wrote it, yeah? Elvis Presley Enterprises took it back, is that correct? How was Elvis Presley Enterprises able to get this poem off Lucy or Desiree? Just give me a bit of a story on this poem, yeah? I'll read it. Somewhere, right, let me just, okay. Seen only by the eyes of my love, you're my life. Somewhere in time there was my love. My love was sweet and gentle and angelic. There's just one place she could come from, above. There's no way to explain this miracle, or this, is it miracle? She's a package wrapped in clouds and joy. It makes everything since then seem fickle. Only hearts that love can know this pleasure. As I travel and see it all, I know my Desiree is the greatest treasure. Love, L. Lancelot. The moment I got the poem, I recognized Elvis's handwriting. Hamilton said, I had seen it many times. An examination of the spacing of the words, the slope of the letters, the size of the characters, and other factors proved the poem to be the poem's authenticity, he said. I can state unequivocally that it is Elvis's handwriting. He said Lucy de Barbin was in fact a lover of Elvis Presley for many years. The poem is a tight scrawl and was written in black ink on an 8 by 11-inch sheet of plain white stationery, Hamilton said. He appraised the value by 100,000. Okay, well, let's discuss that a little bit. Now, Kathy's the person we've got here. Kathy, is Desiree watching? Do you know if Desiree is watching? The sun is so like strong. Like I have to sit in a certain angle, otherwise they can't see me. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to sit back from the sun. Right. So Kathy, can you just answer that question? Is Desiree watching? Because that interests me, just to know if the author of the book is watching our show at the moment. So Lucy would not show the poem to Desiree for a long time. She eventually gave it to Desiree, who got it analysed for a few handwriting experts. Grayson was given the poem. But Kathy, how do we prove that? Yeah, I understand this is a big part of the story. This is part of the reason how people prove that there's truth to the book. But what do we have that backs up that you're saying, Kathy, what you're saying? This is the bit we need, yeah? For the people that don't believe the book, don't believe Desiree, Lucy, we need a bit of documentation as well, yeah? Because are you saying that no one knows where the poem is? You say Elvis Presley Enterprises have the poem, but where is it? Where is it, yeah? Let me just go back on a few comments. Let's have a look. So I think a couple of you have said that you believe it. So I think it was Lorna and Juliet. Is that right, guys? Can you just confirm that? I think Elvis did have other children. It is possible. I don't think anyone on the planet can say that 100% Elvis had no other children. Not. It's too much to say. So yes, so Julie S is a believer. I'm stepping back from this Lucy subject for a while until it passes like what happens to Lisa Marie's book has gone quiet. That's okay, Luann, that's fine. But I defend Lisa Marie Presley every day. Every day. Remember, most YouTube channels defend once a week. Yeah, once a week at the most. Sometimes twice. Yeah, twice a day I defend, and almost every day we defend Lisa Marie. Almost every video I do, at some point, I say we need justice for Lisa Marie. Yeah? So we're not going to look. And Luann, just one more thing, Luann. I'm not just going to sit here every day. Let me just get the book out. Where is it? No. See this book here? this is probably the most important thing that's happened in the Elvis world for 40 years. Yeah, I fully support this book. I believe every word of this book, and I'm going to go through every part of this book and defend Lisa Marie. Yeah, but not every day. Not every day. I have got loads of books, loads of topics, loads of documents, loads of information, loads of research, loads of interviews, movies, you name it. And we're going to cover everything, guys. We're not just going to sit here every day reading this book. Yeah, that's not how it's going to work, Luan. We are going to cover all topics. Yes, we're a Defending Elvis channel, but we are also an Elvis channel. So we've got thousands and thousands of topics to cover, not just this book. So let's keep reading. Do you know how many women he made pregnant that night, especially the first? I'm not sure what your point is. Salvatore, what do you mean? Now, remember my opinion on Elvis. Elvis got bored of sex. He didn't want to sleep with every woman that he met. He got bored of sex. Yeah? If it's on a plate and it's easy, you get bored of it. Let's have a look. All right, so Lorna is saying she's not sure. Kathy, Lucy's daughter went to court when they not make Graceland do a DNA test. Yeah, and this is another part of the how we're trying to prove if it's true or not true. The DNA test. Why has there never been a DNA test? Now, Kathy's going to answer this, but from I think Joe Sins, I read his comments on our Defending Elvis Presley Facebook page. I think he said that Lisa Marie Presley and Elvis Presley Enterprises refused to allow a DNA test. Is that true? Kathy, is that true? Lucy would not show the poem to Derry for a long time. She eventually gave it to Derry, who got it and got it analysed by a few hamwrights. Okay, so I'm still waiting for the response about, can we prove this? Let's have a look. Where are we? But Lucy, where are we? Have I missed a comment? Let's go back a little bit. Sorry, it jumps up sometimes, guys. Now, we're not in a rush. Get your coffees out. We're going to go through this topic slowly. Right. You know how... Let me just... Linda, but the poem to me sounds like Elvis knew. Sorry, I'm confused a bit. That's Linda. I just think it's hard to believe that Elvis didn't tell anyone, especially Billy Smith, who he was close to. Now Lynette, I will bring up anything where people are trying to say it's not true. I'll bring up that as part of the evidence against the book. I'm also going to bring up the evidence for the book. Yeah? Are you lonesome tonight? So a point that you brought up is, Billy, why would have Elvis not told Billy Smith? Because Elvis was very, very, very close to Billy, especially then, yeah, in the 50s. So there's that. I'm sure when he walked off the stage and watched the special, he was happy with himself. Right, okay. That are we talking about the 68 comeback, which is absolutely amazing, but that's a separate topic. Let's have a look. There were several handwriting experts involved, according to Derry. They were the top handwriting analysts at the time, and I will check if Derry has written proof of the analysis. Now, we must have proof, Kathy. We must, because we can't just say Derry said this, Derry said that, Desiree this, Desiree that, Lucy this, Lucy that. We need, right, this was said, and this is how we prove it. Yeah, we have to. Right. So Kathy Pitt says, Lynette, Lucy asked Elvis to keep their love a secret. Okay. So let's have a look. Linda. So all right. So Kathy is saying that Elvis wanted to tell everyone, but he kept it secret because that's what Lucy wanted. Is that right, Kathy? But Lucy pleaded with him not to. Okay. So let's have a look. Right. Did Lucy tell Elvis, and when? I think Kathy can answer that. He must have been Salvatore if it had given him a massive confidence. He was so visibly nervous at first. Right. Are we talking about two different things? Right. Let's have a look. It was a secret romance, David. No one knew. Vesta Presley knew of Lucy, that they met and spoke. Now, don't forget, Kathy, this is what creates doubt. Yeah. It's a secret relationship. No one knew. No pictures to prove it. This is the massive doubt, isn't it? This is why people are thinking, well, maybe it's just all been made up. Yeah, we can't ignore that. Towards the end of Elvis's life, let's have a look. Where are we? Towards the end of Elvis's life, Lucy would never tell Elvis the name of his youngest child. Again, no proof. Yeah, so let's have a look. He asked her several times. She always evaded the question. Again, this is what's in the book. Yeah, this is. I'm not seeing proof from this. We need some solid stuff. Come on. Not long before he passes away, they were talking, and he asked her daughters again. So Lucy never told Elvis. I am understanding that correctly. Right? Can Kathy? Can you answer that? Did Lucy ever tell Elvis? This is the question from Linda. Right, so let's have a look. Kathy said her name is Desiree. She said yes. Elvis commented, my Desiree, my two Desiree. She told Elvis that she wanted to come to see him and bring Desiree. Okay. Again, is there any proof of this? Is it explained to me, Kathy? This is in the book, yeah? But Elvis passed away a short time later. If he knew, surely that he would have left something for her in his will. That's a great comment, Debbie. What, Kathy, what are your views on that? Why did Elvis not leave anything for Desiree? I know that the will specifically did say the people that receive things were going to be within from the marriage, yeah, from Elvis's marriage. Is that right? This is where the doubt comes in. She left her husband, was still seeing Elvis, but didn't tell him all those years. Okay, that's a fair comment. Debbie has passed away not long after he was told about it. Debbie, you believe me with no... Right, okay. So don't forget what we're trying to do here, Kathy. So I'm just trying to sit out of the sun because the sun is like really annoying. How can I get out of the sun? Right. What I'm trying to do here, Kathy, is we're discussing it. Yeah, we're just chilling out over a coffee, just discussing it. I need your help. I'm fighting for both sides. The people that do believe it, the people that don't believe it. I'm also fighting for the people that are on the shelf. All three sides. Yeah, so three sides. Now, what I'm trying to say is this. We're doing a live stream now. Kathy, at the moment, you're on the spot. You're the spokesperson on behalf of Desiree, the author of the book. You've obviously read the book loads of times. So any information that you can give us, please give it now. The other thing I say to you, Kathy, is this. There's probably a list of reasons why people do not believe the book. You will know every one of them because you've probably had disagreements with people every day defending the book. Can you give us the reasons that can you give us the reasons why people don't believe it and then give us the answers to why they're wrong? Can you do that? I know it's a big question, but can you do that? Wonder why Elvis put that in his will. Wonder if he thought there was a chance that he had more children. So let's just read. Lucy said in the interview that she had told Elvis she had a surprise to tell him. She said he died a few days later. This is Indeeda. Hi, Indeeda. Okay, so right. What I'm going to do now is start reading some comments from Joe Sin's video, because the problem with Joe's video is that it's so long. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. We're not going to find the bits that are relevant, really, because they're just having a good chat as well, aren't they? So what I thought I would do is just look at the comments. Let's have a look. So we've got the usual comments, like the people that believe it and support it, like, thank you for supporting Lucy and Desiree. Yeah. Now, I don't know what I'm going to read here, guys. We're just going to see what comes up. After reading the book for over 20 years ago, somehow in my mind, I put Lucy and Kentucky Rain together, and I could picture Elvis singing it about Lucy. Now, hearing Desiree talk about it has basically confirmed to me and to many others. Right, okay. Let's just have a look. I was surprised when Desiree mentioned that there is a tape recording of Elvis and Lucy singing together. I had no idea. How amazing. I totally understand that Lucy would want to keep these tapes to herself. So is this true? Is there any proof of it? It's a big thing to say, guys. Let me just check your comments. I don't think he had, right, don't believe, no one ever saw the answer. It was a secret. Once he divorced Priscilla, it seemed that would have been a time to tell him. Don't believe, because Lucy was the only after money answer. Right, okay, these are the don't believe comments. Sorry, Kathy. So people are saying that Lucy was only after money. The answer is Lucy never asked for a cent and has never made a claim. That's Kathy. Now, I've read this and I've seen this in interviews on YouTube. I've seen Lucy and Desiree clearly saying they don't want any money from Elvis. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. So I agree with that comment. So Luann says, what about Vernon and Elvis's dad? I wonder if Vernon knew. I mean, the comments I read is that the only person that knew was Vesta, because Lucy would speak to him at the gates. So Karen, can you comment on that? She said because she had a lot of children, she didn't want to spoil his career. I've read that. Thanks, Karen. I confirm that Kathy, she says in the radio station interview, and the Phil Donahue. Yes, I've watched the Phil Donahue interview as well. His will said child in wedlock. I believe because by then he'd already had to fight a woman who lied. But I believe if he knew of another child, he would have been proud and provided for it. Okay, there is, I mean, that does bring up a comment that I read. I once read a comment that says, well, if it's true, Elvis is such a good man, such a kind man, that he would have provided for it, yeah? So the comment was basically saying he didn't provide for it, so it can't be true. But I have also read that secretly Elvis has been giving money to help Lucy with Desiree for 20 years. Is that true, Kathy? Was Elvis giving money now and then over a 20-year period to try and help Lucy support Desiree? Can you answer that question? Let's have a look. Lucy was taking Desiree to meet Vernon when he passed just before he got there. Yeah, and I've read this. Again, there's no way of proving that, is there? I read the book a long time ago, and I think it came with a tape of some of Elvis's impersonator talking. I don't believe a word of it, but that's just my opinion. Salvatore, it's fine. It's fine to not believe it. It's completely fine. Yeah? I'm not trying to change people's mind here. I'm just trying to get info out so we can discuss it, whether you do believe it or don't believe it, yeah? Or if you're on the fence about it. Now, Kathy, on behalf of Dairy, she wants to help give her research, her knowledge, so to sway our opinions. Do I believe it? No, at the moment, Salvatore, no. Yeah. So, but remember, I'm hosting a show. Yeah, I'm hosting this topic. So the point of this show isn't what I think. The point of this show is we are just going to be open and honest. Yeah. And we're going to look at both sides of the story. So we're going to look at the pros and the cons, whether it's true or false. We're going to air the topic, and I'm going to let you guys decide. It's not about what I think. And I would say this, where I stand with it, Salvatore, is this. I don't know enough. I do not know enough. I have not done enough research to understand if it's true or not. So because I haven't done enough research, and I've done hardly any research. I have not read the book. I have not read the book. Because I have not done enough research, my answer at the moment is, I don't know. I don't know. That's my answer. Yeah? That's why Kathy's here. Now, remember, Kathy is close friends with the author. Yeah? The author may be watching. Yeah? Let's have a look. There was no horse stables that rented horses to ride. How did she get a horse and meet Elvis on the horse trail? Now, I've heard this. Let's have a look. This is one of the no things, isn't it? I've heard this. People bring up the horse trail, that there's no hills. There was nowhere to rent a horse. I've heard that. That's one of the things. Yeah. And then Dairy confirmed. The guy that ran the farm that the horses were on lent Lucy a horse. There we are. So people are saying, well, he couldn't have rented a horse and there's no hills. Yeah. Is that? She talks about they went up a hill. Yeah, is that right, Kathy? So the answer from Kathy is there's a guy that confirmed that he ran a farm and the horses were lent to Lucy. Now, is there can we prove that in any way, Kathy? Can we prove that in any way? Kathy, the people who verified the writing of the poem, is there documents from them to state with their professional name that Lucy's poem is Elvis's handwriting? Thanks for your time. And Satlin, I agree with that. What proof do we have that it was Elvis's actual handwriting and that the letter even exists? Where is the proof? I definitely agree with that question. Right, Debbie, I was 50-50, but I am swaying to no because no real proof, and Elvis would never have changed his will to provide for another child. That's a good comment, Debbie. And it was hills, not mountains. Okay, thank you, Kathy. Right, that's what I'm going to ask Dairy, Satnin. All right, so I think, Kathy, are you asking Dairy questions now whilst we're here talking? Are you asking? Because that makes it interesting. Right, I want to play something. I want to play a bit more of this. So I want to heat up my coffee. We're in no rush, guys. We're in no rush. Let me try and find the better part of this interview.
Maybe a little one. But anyway, we're getting way off this subject. But
yeah,
everybody else is, what else is there, right? So I understand what you're doing. I wanted to move on to mafia guys and serial killers. Like,
all right, come on, let's get on to the topic. Let me just get.
They didn't trust him, and they talked a lot about not trusting. She was paranoid that he'd tell one of them. Plus, nobody knew what they were doing as teenagers when he was mowing his sister's lawn, and she was flirting with him or looking at the handsome. Probably had his shirt off and mowing the lawn. That story's as old as time.
Yeah, it is. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of Elvis fans that haven't heard that Elvis mowed grass. Now, that's part of what I've been doing. I've been bringing forward some stuff from different biographies. Like, here's one from Jerry Hopkins, his biography, Elvis. He mentioned that Elvis went out and played in between sets of a country western band at the Eagle's Nest, that he played with just his guitar. It either got forgotten in history, because that's where everybody was saying, no, Elvis didn't play just with his guitar. Scotty and Bill didn't get with him until late 54. But the truth is, there's biographers that have put out there that Elvis did. Not just your book, Are You Lonesome Tonight, but Jerry Hopkins mentioned that Elvis played acoustically in between a country western band at the Eagle's Nest.
Yeah. Remember I said there are 1,000, there are like hundreds of incidents in the book where everybody says one thing, and then finally someone says, no, that's true. I saw him on that flatbed. I saw him play there. He mowed grass. I think he told me last week his dad bought him the lawnmower so he'd have a business. I mean, every Southern boy mowed. I bet you mowed grass at one time for money. Did you ever mow grass? I did in North Carolina. I mowed grass.
I wasn't young, but I did a couple times, and I was like, this is horrible. I'm not doing it anymore.
I hated it too, but the first money I ever made in my life was 50-cent piece for mowing a neighbor's grass when I was like 10 years old. And I thought it was the most fabulous thing, a shiny half, silver 50-cent piece for mowing a neighbor's grass. Everybody mowed grass.
So this is for your listeners and for you. So this is from a biography. The summer of Elvis's freshman year of high school, his dad, Vernon, bought him a push lawnmower. So 51, 50. With his mower, him and a couple buddies, Buzzy, Forbes, Farley Guy, and Paul Doer, started a lawn business. They charged $4 per yard. So Elvis Presley cut lawns, and that's what you talked about, is that he cut Lucy's sister's lawn. And that's where she knew Elvis from. It makes total sense that Elvis would come back by. Remember, I cut your lawn? I'm singing tonight. Can you want to come see me? People just want to doubt that, but to me, it makes sense.
Oh, yeah. And Lucy's sister was not much older than her, and she was also very beautiful. So Elvis liked that gig. They charged $4 back in the 50s. I only got 50 cents in the 60s.
$4 a yard.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
$4 a yard, yeah.
He must have had Colonel Parker negotiating his lawn mowing business, because that's a lot more than I got. And the yards were big back then in North Carolina. Man.
It was Elvis and his couple buddies, I think. And so
right, I'll just pause that. Actually, that bit was interesting, but I want to comment on Kathy's post. This is another reason that people don't believe. Elvis didn't start performing until 1956, and the answer, Elvis, right, the story is, they're trying to, this is just so I'm getting it right, Kathy, they're trying to say that Lucy's story begins before 1956. Elvis didn't perform before 1956, so it can't be true. Now, Kathy's answer is, and I'm going to back her answer up, because in this book, I've read a part in this book that does show that Elvis, before he walked into Memphis studios, was doing gigs, was doing small gigs. Yeah. Now, I read this 2 weeks ago. I think I read it out on here. So let me read Kathy's comments. So I've asked Kathy to tell us why people doubt the story of Lucy and Desiree. Yeah. So Kathy has said one of the things was people don't believe that Elvis didn't start performing until 1956. Elvis did pubs and clubs just with his guitar to earn a few dollars straight from the school. And I'm gonna support that comment because it's in this book. This book has that comment in it that Elvis was doing small time gigs before he walked into Memphis studios. Yeah. We read it out last week. Actually, when I read it, I was actually quite surprised, and I didn't even know about this topic was going to come up. Yeah. Let's keep going. If he thought that much of her, he wouldn't have left her something. He wouldn't have left her something in his will. It's only a memento. If he thought that much of her, wouldn't he have left her something like that in the will? You know, I'll say this, guys. I don't think Elvis thought he was going to die in 1977. I honestly don't. He knew he was sick and chronically unwell, and everything seemed to be going wrong. But I don't think Elvis thought he was going to die. So, an Elvis that knew he was going to die may have made different decisions on the will. Yeah, I'm just sounding that out, guys. I'm just thinking out loud. He played on flatbed trucks. I know about this. Elvis was not known at the time by anyone. And this was 1953. Nothing was documented. He wasn't famous. No one knew him then. Yes, I agree with that comment, Kathy, because I've read about this. Let's have a look. Yeah, Kathy says he used to sing just covers with his guitar in the pubs and parties. Yeah, I've read about this. I have to say that I believe that. But that still does not prove he was the father. True. Now, I think what Joe Sins was saying just now about, you know, the mowing the lawns and stuff, and that Lucy and her sister were very beautiful. I understand that point. Of course, Elvis would have noticed. Yeah. He goes to the place where his flatbed truck was. He goes to the place where the flatbed truck was. What is Salvatore? Oh, by the way, Salvatore, thank you for buying me a coffee. Thank you so much, Salvatore. Anyone wants to buy me a coffee, guys, hit the super thank you. I love a coffee. Right, let's keep going. Linda, I agree. That's what I mean. Surely he wouldn't have mentioned the love of his life in his will. Only if he knew he was going to die, innit? Even me, if I did a will now, it would be quite vague. It would be, obviously, my kids, my wife. I wouldn't really go into it. But if I was going to die today, my will would be very different. It would be much more detailed. I really believe that. Even you guys, you do a will that is pretty general, because you never think you're going to die, do you? We all think we're going to live forever. But if you knew you were going to die tomorrow, your will would be very different. It'll be very much more detailed. So that is my answer to that. Linda, I agree. That's what I mean. Surely he would have mentioned the love of his life in his will. Yet, Satlin, I am not saying that she did not date him, but no proof of him being the father. That's let's have a look. Now, Debbie, when you say no proof of him being the father, there can only be one proof, can't there? That is a DNA test, yeah? Now, they didn't do DNA tests. Now, it is said that Elvis Presley Enterprises and Lisa Marie refused a DNA test, so it could have then only been a blood test. Now, I'm asking Kathy, because I saw an interview where Lucy was saying there had been blood tests. So, Kathy, have there ever been any blood tests? Have there ever been any blood tests? And if not, why did Lucy say that there was blood tests? I'm really interested on just that one point. Kathy, can you answer that? Let's have a look. Debbie, no, but it's Door's place. Lucy is speaking about, remember, he wasn't known then. So Lucy could have met him in that time frame. Okay. He had a lot of people he cared for, but only for dad and daughter. He had a lot of people he cared for, but will only. All right, but the will was only for this father, for Vernon and Lisa. I think the will wasn't just for Lisa and Vernon, wasn't it? It didn't. I think it also included. Didn't it include Minnie Mae? You guys tell me, guys. Let's have a look. I agree what I mean. Surely he wouldn't have mentioned the love of his life as well. Let's have a look. Keep going. How could he mention her in his will? He only found out just before he passed. All right, okay. There's your answer, guys. There's your answer. But, you know, we could never prove that, could we? Yeah. Let's keep going. Louis, watch the Geraldo show. Geraldo interviewed her when the first book came out. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Should we get it up? How long is it? If they're not too long, I don't mind playing them. So let's have a look. So I'm not sure it's going to come up, mind. Let's have a look. Geraldo and Lucy. So, let's see if anything comes up, guys.
Everybody is predicting that Are You Lonesome Tonight will be a huge bestseller.
We'll play it. I might have played this yesterday, but I'll play it, guys. I hope you're not in a rush, because I think this live stream is going to take a little while. I'm trying to be fair. Guys, I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair to Desiree and to Lucy. Sorry, not Lucy. Kathy, who's joined our show. Obviously to Desiree, because she's still alive. I'm not trying to make Desiree look bad. I'm not trying to make Desiree look bad. I'm not trying to make Joe look bad. I'm trying to sit on the fence and be completely fair. Yeah?
But is the book a factual account of a secret love affair between Lucy DeBarman and Elvis Presley, or the product of fantasy and falsehood? All this week, Entertainment Tonight special correspondent Geraldo Rivera has been investigating the book, asking for tangible evidence that Lucy DeBarman did indeed have a love affair with Elvis and gave birth to his daughter. Tonight, Geraldo puts the alleged evidence into focus.
How good is your memory? Think about it for a second. Can you remember conversations you had a week ago? How about last year? 10 years ago? 20? Can you remember every word spoken and replied 35 years ago? I know I can. I'm a pretty average person. And yet this book is made up largely of supposed conversations between Elvis and Lucy DeBarman. Conversations that allegedly begin way back in 1953. Listen to this one. I'll have a house like this one day, he said. It'll take a lot of work. My plan is to make a record. A person can get rich if they make a good record. What do you think? I think you can do it. Just don't give up. You have to be different to be noticed. I try to be that way when I dance, but I get scared sometimes. Yeah, I know, he said. You never know if the people are going to like you or not. You can sing the same song the same way, and one crowd loves it, and the next doesn't. This conversation goes on for 4.5 more pages. Both Random House, the publisher, and Derry Matera, the ex-National Enquirer reporter who co-wrote this book, claim that hard evidence exists to prove the intimate relationship between Lucy and Elvis, the relationship that led to the love child Elvis never knew.
Lucy has some things.
Could you tell us what they are?
I'm under contract not to mention these things, and the reason and that is up to her, and I made that promise to her, and you'll have to ask her.
I did, many times during our meeting last Friday in New York. It was like trying to pull teeth. Here's some of the so-called proof. This cross. She says Elvis gave it to her, but admits she can't prove that. She says she kept handwritten diaries, but she won't let any outsider independently verify or even look at them. She claims to have a poem handwritten by Elvis, but will not let us independently verify the handwriting. And perhaps the biggest bombshell. Audio tapes are said to exist of deeply personal conversations between Lucy and Elvis. Lucy's provided her publisher with a written transcript of those tapes, but she won't let anybody actually listen to them or verify the voices, even assuming the tapes really exist. We got into this story with no preconceived notions, convinced, in fact, that it would be a bigger story if this lady was telling the truth. But we've been shown nothing to rebut a growing suspicion that an active imagination or two have created a fanciful fantasy. And in any case, if and when the writers and publisher offer real evidence to support their hot and heavy claims, you'll be among the first to know, because we're staying with this story.
Well, that was interesting, guys. So, okay, let's just
Why has the story not come out before?
Okay, we're going to play a bit of this as well, guys. It looks good. I want to read some of your comments. Let's have a look. How could he mention her in the will if only found out just before she passes? Where are we? How could he mention in the right? Okay, sorry, I've just read that bit. Let me just go here. We're learning together, guys. We're learning as we go. Yeah, we're learning as we go. That's how I see it. I know almost nothing about this book. So I've just played the Geraldo interview. Okay, it's pretty clear that he doesn't believe it. Pretty clear. When making a will, it is for when you die, if you are longing for the love of your life, surely there would be a mention. He made a point of not mentioning it. Let's have a look. Right, okay, Debbie asked a good question. Who is the father on the birth certificate? Can you answer that, Kathy? That's a great question. Thanks, Debbie. Remember, Pamela, Lucy was a secret. Why would he mention Lucy in the will? And Zilla and everyone else would have contested it, who she is. I see that. I do see that. But the Elvis that we know, who is very kind, very good-hearted, if he clearly knew that she existed, would have said something. But aren't you saying that he didn't find out until a few days before he died? How long before he died did he find out? So I don't agree with that point, Kathy. I think if Elvis truly knew, he would have wanted her looked after somehow. He would have made some kind of provision. How long before Elvis died did he know about Desiree? I asked that question. Has any person that was close to Elvis ever say that they had heard or knew Lucy? I have never heard of one. It's impossible. No one would have never known. That's a good... Dan, I agree with that. Dan, I totally agree with that. He would have told someone, come on. Someone should have known. Now, I asked this question as well. Did anyone else mention it? And then actually, Kathy's just answered that Charlie Hodge mentioned Desiree. When was this? Can you tell, Kathy, when did Charlie Hodge mention Desiree? Because I'd like to find that. Let's have a look. Desiree has the same blood type as Elvis, but no DNA test was ever done against Elvis. Well, Stacey, I can't accept that as evidence. I really can't. And even if they do have the same blood type, how do you really know that? Where's the proof? I asked this, Stacey, where is the proof that they have the same blood type? You may have read it somewhere, but that doesn't make it fact. So I'd like to see proof. Yeah, Salvatore, I played that. I'm going to play another clip as well. Randolph Presley on birth certificate. So Randolph Presley is on the birth certificate. Who is that? Who is Randolph? Yeah. Look at what happened to Lisa. Will Stacey, it was contested. Oh yeah, it would have. I mean, even if it was on the will, it would have been a big fight. It would have been contested. Come on, we know that. Priscilla wouldn't let anyone have anything. We know that Priscilla was all over it when she was involved. Even Vernon tried to prevent Priscilla as well, didn't he? Didn't Vernon take Priscilla to some kind of lawsuit, trying to say that Priscilla had already had enough money from the divorce settlements, which she had. So yeah, but that reply, Kathy, it doesn't really help your case. The fact that things would have been contested and argued doesn't make what you're saying true. Yeah. Lucy would have gone all out and sued the estate if it was true. It's not true. Okay, Dan. But remember, Dan, that Desiree and Lucy always said, if you look at these older interviews, they were never going to go after Elvis's money. Dan, this is for you. They were never going to go after Elvis's money. That is very clear more than once in interviews. I don't know what year that was. So that sort of cancels out what you're saying. Yeah. Now remember, Dan, I'm on the shelf. I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm just trying to be fair. Fair to Desiree, the author, and Kathy. Fair to Desiree and Lucy. God rest their soul. And I'm also trying to be fair to the people that don't believe it. I think the people that don't believe it have the right to not believe it. Yeah. That's okay. Let's keep going, guys. We can go a bit longer. It looks like we're going to have to do a part 2 of this, but I'm going to keep going a bit longer. So Charlie Hodge mentioned Desiree. That's interesting. Thank you for being here, Kathy. But Gio, how do we know that? How do we know Charlie Hodge mentioned it? I want to see that. Lucy will look right. Let's have a look. Say what, Dan? I'm not understanding. Sorry. So why even come out and say it? I don't see your point, Dan. Remember, we're debating. That's why we're saying stuff. Yeah. Dan, if you truly love someone, you never do anything against them. You sacrifice yourself for them. It's called unconditional love. Okay. If Lucy wanted to keep it quiet the whole time Elvis was alive, why do it after? Good question. Kathy, so why, once Elvis died, did Desiree and Lucy decide to go public with it? You don't keep a child from a father, even that's not love. Well, I don't completely agree with that. I think there's many women out there that, for their own reasons, have got pregnant and gone on with their lives and not told the father. I think it's more common than you think. So I can't agree with that. Salvatore, you shouldn't be even smoking, mate. You must give up smoking. The reason Lucy did the book for Desiree, she had no intention of saying anything ever. Desiree says in the interview, her sister told her Elvis was her dad. Then she started asking questions. I need to read that again. The reason Lucy did the book was for Desiree. She had no intention of saying anything. Desiree says in the interview that her sister told her Elvis was her dad. Then she started asking questions. Yeah. I don't know how to comment to that. So you're basically saying that the mother of Desiree has decided that she's going to write a book and tell her daughter. I'm confused by that. I have no response to that. I need to let that sink in a bit. Let's have a look. I am thinking. Let's have a look. Lucy had never told Desiree who her father was. Desiree and her siblings suspected, but were never sure. Lucy did the book to tell her daughter who the father was. Right, okay, that's a bit more clearer. So Lucy wrote the book because she finally felt that Desiree should be allowed to know that her father was Elvis Presley, but this was after Elvis died. Now, don't forget that after Elvis died bit, it's gonna make everyone not believe it, because they're all going to think, why did she wait until he died to tell him? They're all going to say that. Hi, Yvette. Pamela, Charlie did say Elvis couldn't keep a secret. Oh, thank you, Salvatore. Yeah, she's behind me making a cup of tea. She's so interested in this story about Elvis's secret daughter. Aren't you, Laura?
Sorry?
You're really interested in my story about Elvis's secret daughter, yeah?
Yeah,
I know you are. Sorry, someone just noticed you behind me, that's all.
I was making coffee.
Salvatore bought me a coffee. Thank you, Salvatore. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying my coffee, mate. Hi, Maria. Let's research when Charlie Hodge mentioned Desiree, and if there is a video, audio, evidence, or interviews. I believe you, Kathy. Right, Gio. Yes, I want to see. Kathy, do you have that video? where Charlie Hodge mentions it. I'd love to see it. Right, let's play a bit more of this, because that's quite a big deal. Charlie Hodge is a very trusted member of the Memphis Mafia. I would say him and Larry Geller are the most trusted.
I never intended it for it to come out at all, Bill. But because of circumstances and things that happened within the last 5-6 years, I decided that this was a time to do it, because I was sort of, I don't want to say forced into it, but I was pursued. Desiree was pursued very, very strongly. And also I felt like I owed it to Desiree. I had to tell her the story that she never did know behind her father and my relationship. And I wanted her to know it in details. And it was so difficult to even tell Elvis that I couldn't tell her, surely, unless I put the details, because it was very hurtful and still is to talk about certain events and things that happened and why we had to do it. So I had to put it on paper in details so she could see the dark side, I call it, of my life and the circumstances and why I made the decisions I did, and to see a beautiful side of her father, which I didn't think everybody knew about. And I did want them to know that. And I wanted her in particular to know about it.
It's unfair of me to ask in just a few minutes that we have to describe the kinds of feelings that you have, because you'll never be able to have enough time to describe them fully.
I know. Do you mean from the beginning, Bill?
Feel free to pick it up at any point along the way.
I think that Elvis was probably one of the greatest inspirations in my life. Not because he was Elvis Presley, because when I first heard his name, I thought it was an odd name, but because he was the man, if I would dream up a person to fall in love with, would have been that type of person, because he had all the attributes that I would want in a person. The humanity, the gentleness, the love, the consideration for other people, the reason why he wanted to be successful or make his life successful was for others. All this made me fall in love with him long ago. And because of circumstances, and I know it has to be brief, we went on to fall in love very deeply. And there was always something between it. Needless to say, my circumstances in past. And then in later years, we had a separation for 10 years because of my circumstances again and his. And I felt like I had to make the decision. Then went on to, he kept looking for me and found me, and we got back together on a basis of we had to explain to one another, because we felt like we still love one another, but we were honorable to our commitments for a time. And then we made decisions that we had to live with the consequences, and knew what our limitations were and what we could or couldn't do because of circumstances and because of my children, my family, that I couldn't let the whole world attack them or his career. And we were building lives, both of us, although Elvis always wanted to come out with our relationship in public. He honored my wishes, and I loved him more for that.
Desiree, this unfolded how for you?
Well, when I first found out who my father was when I was 17. And then at 19, I sent off my birth certificate and started using the name Presley. And I didn't know any of the facts. And it was a very hard decision for me to go to Mother and get her to tell me, because I knew it was very painful for her. And she had actually never told me that Elvis was my father yet. She actually didn't tell me till 1982. And at this point, I was going by the name Presley, and everyone that I encountered always asked me, "Are you related to Elvis?" And I would say yes, but I was very uncomfortable because I didn't know the facts surrounding it. And, you know, it's very, it's a big thing to say, I'm Elvis Presley's father, and you don't know how, you know what I'm saying? So finally, this Gary Matera, the co-author, he approached me. He got a tip from someone that I was Elvis's daughter, and followed me for about a year, wrote letters. And so finally I agreed to meet him and ask him what he intended to do with the story. And he asked me so many questions. I said, I don't know. I didn't have any answers for him. So finally I gave him Mother's number and had him call Mother. And I was so afraid. I thought Mother was going to kill me. And it ended up, she agreed to meet him. And And she liked him very much. I agreed to meet him, Bill, because I thought, I'm going to get him off of her back. I'd dare him into our lives and try to expose. It was hurtful. And I knew that, of course, still protecting her and knowing who she was and how important Elvis was to the world, that they would try to exploit her like they did him. And no, they couldn't know because I had to tell her. But it was hard for me to tell her until 1982, when something pushed me into telling Desiree, because she came right out, and that was the most assertiveness she has ever shown in her life. You can tell Bill about how I told you if you'd like. I was invited to, we were living in LA at the time, and I was invited to a party that it was my lawyer's party, and there was a lot of Hollywood people there. And Mother said, please don't go. And I said, well, why? She says, just please don't go. I don't want you exploited. And I said, why? She said, because of your father. I said, who was my father? Because I wanted to hear my mother say it, to tell me. And she said, Elvis Presley. And I said, I know. She says, no, but you don't know the whole story. And it's a beautiful story, and I'll tell you someday. But even then, it was very painful for her, to come out and tell me, because it wasn't just one time that they were together. It was a love story, many years. I didn't want Desiree to think that, I met Elvis, we had an affair, and he left, and that was it. I wanted her to know there was not easy times. Our relationship was something that was apparently had to be the way it was. I'm a firm believer that whatever case it is, whatever will be, will be. And we weren't meant to be together always, but as much as we could. But I wanted her to know that she was born out of great love. But there was details, but it's hard to tell a young girl, now look, this was special. Sure, everything's special. She wanted me to tell her. And I never could tell her. I said, you have to know the whole story, because there were bad times for us. There were hard times. And I wanted her to understand why we had to be separated, why I wasn't with him, why that we didn't get married, things like that. And I couldn't do it, Bill, just sitting down and telling her. I couldn't do it today if I had to just tell her everything. And she knows that. I went so far as after meeting Derry Matera, I thought I had to go through this, and he will not be the right one. And no, I won't write this book. This is only my mind confirmed. I will not write anything, and he will not get a story. I will tell him to back away and leave my daughter alone. But he was very nice. And I'm not naive to where I just can swallow everything like that. But he respected me and left me alone for a while. And he said, promise me you will just try to think about it. And I did. I said no to myself. And then I started thinking, I owe this to Desiree. And I spoke to Uncle Vester about it, even, who I love very much. And he was very close to Elvis. And he said, well, you owe it to her. You better think about what it'll do to her. And but if you have something good and you have something good with Elvis, why don't you tell it? So, and then Ronald Tennant, who's a good friend of ours, said, why are you not telling it? And I said, because I didn't have people taking pictures of us together. It was a secret. I wanted to remain a secret. He said, why? You have to tell. Because Desiree wants to know. She needs to know. So I made a set of tapes and told as much of the story. And it took me 4 years to do this. And telling her in details and completely devastating me, because I had to open doors I had closed long ago because I didn't want to think about it except for the nice parts of it. And I did, in case something would happen to me, that she would never get the story. And I told Desiree to put him in a vault, which she did. Then started writing notes and writing pads, and then working with Derry night after night after night after night, and then finally saying, I'm not going through with this. I don't want the world to know about this. It can't be. And, it was very difficult for me. I'm not trying to be noble, but it was very hurtful to tell things that I didn't want anyone to know. But if she knew, she would have to be defending herself. Yes, I am. And so why not tell the world? And why am I not being, I don't mean myself, but why is it so hard for the public I don't mean the public exactly, but the people that has had controversy about this to accept something that could be good about Elvis when they have accepted all the bad things written about him. It baffles me. But again,
it happens so with every famous person, be it Elvis or Frank Sinatra, who you name it. People come out of the woodwork and say, "Well, yes, we had an affair back then, and this is Frank Sinatra's daughter." Mm-hmm. And you've, I'm sure, had that.
Sure.
And people, the backlash. I've read some stories on the wire already that there are people who are challenging all the claims that are in the book. Geraldo is standing behind you, to their credit.
Right.
Is this difficult for you? What we're doing right now? Do you enjoy going on tour, talking about it?
I don't enjoy any publicity. First of all, I have to be honest, because I'm a business person. If it's business, I love it. It's fine, in my life. But when it's centered on my personal life and publicity, I don't like it. I don't like pictures of myself. I don't like. And it's very difficult to talk about this because I do not. But no, and I don't mind it, Bill, because I know it has to be done, and I certainly owe it to the publishers and to Desiree and to Elvis, and I know that.
I think it would be hard for any of us to go public in such a massive scale.
I know.
And expose the details that all of us would just logically want to keep.
That's right.
Regardless of who it was that we've been in love with. And
Elvis, I didn't even want to use his name, nor did I want to use. I wish I could have used John Jones, which is, he always went by when he called me and things. But and he always was disguised when we met, and he always respected and honored me for wanting to be secret. But because even if he wanted to be different, he did respect that.
Desiree, I'm wondering, has your mother's fear materialized? Have you been exploited?
No, I haven't had too much of it yet. We've been on the tour. I've been quite busy on the tour, and it's been very positive. People's reaction has been very good.
You're able to lead a normal life. People don't hound you. The National Enquirer isn't hiding behind your bushes or something.
There's been a few hiding behind the bushes, but they've been fairly kind as well.
It occurred to me that if Derry Montera had worked for the National Enquirer instead of being the reputable journalist that he apparently is, this could have ended up completely different.
Oh, believe me, I thought about that too. And I told him in a very nice way to back away and stay away. And then he proved himself, because that's what I feel about every human being. You can't really judge them. And his credibility came through, because I know that he's had a difficult time writing this with me, because I didn't want to give him all the facts, the dark side, my early age. I fought like crazy to keep that out.
Were you I don't mean to were you surprised by some of the parts that he wrote here, where he commented on your perception, and he said, well, this is what I really found out? I found that particularly striking.
I hated him when he did all that research. I have argued so many nights with him on the phone. How dare you bother my friends or people I knew? How dare you do this? And then I understood, though, because he had to do this. Even when he found out I was younger, because I tried to go by an older age all my life, I did. And I hated him for that. And then I realized, he said it has to be done that way. And he finally convinced me. Every little thing was a little bit chipping away, like the poem. No, you're not getting this poem. It's mine. It was not to be seen by anyone else. And finally, after 6 months, I gave, and I thought, and I prayed about it too, and spoke to Desiree and the family about it. And they said, well, it's beautiful. Why don't you let them print it? So we decided to do it. I finally decided to do it. And then the publisher and Derry contacted Graceland. I don't know why. It was unbeknownst to me. I would not have contacted him personally, because I don't think anyone should own anything about everyone in the world, their voice, their likeness, a letter that was written to me and given to me by Elvis. That's bad, I think. They refused to let us print it, and that hurt me more after being convinced to let the publisher print it. So I'm very hurt about that, but it is explained in the book, Are You Lonesome Tonight, that they refused. And maybe at one point very soon, we will show it to the world, because I would like for them to see it now. How dare them say that it doesn't exist when they refuse to let us do it?
I was curious about one thing. I know we're running out of time, but Desiree, you and I are just a half a generation too young to have been in Elvis's prime. And we probably started growing up on the kind of music that immediately followed his peak of popularity. Did you listen to Elvis records when you were growing up? Did you enjoy his music?
I was never into the rock and roll of Elvis. I loved his ballads. I studied piano for many years and played a lot of them on the piano. And I did enjoy hearing them. Impossible Dream, Love Me Tender, all of his slower ballad type music. I love that.
Do you like his movies?
Some of them, a lot of them are very silly, but and he hated doing them. He really did, because it portrayed him in something, that he wasn't
Elvis. He wasn't Elvis in the movie. He was not the Elvis, the man that I knew. And he wanted to portray the kind of person he was so badly. I spoke to Desiree and everyone that loved him, and still do, about that. And he really planned on doing something about that and getting into a more serious vein.
Well, I'll tell you what, that was brilliant. That was much better than I was expecting. It's impossible for me to sit without without the sun. So obviously we've got the next one on there, but that's for another show. So I'm going to have to talk to you with the sun in my face, which is doing my head in. But that was good, guys. Come on, that was really good. That's probably the best thing I've watched that gives me a much better feel for what's gone on between Lucy, Desiree. Yeah. And as you saw, this arrived whilst we were talking. The book, Are You Lonesome Tonight? Which is really what this show's all about, isn't it, really? Because this is the only real thing that we've got, except for the interviews, that discusses Lucy and Desiree's truth. And obviously the author, Dari Matira, he obviously did a lot of research to create this book. Now, I think it was 1987, I think Kathy said. Now, I am going to go through this book, guys. I'm not going to read all of the book, but I'm going to read some of it. Kathy recommended that I read, is it the prologue? The preface of this book, yeah? Which I will do. So on the next show, I'm going to just read some of the basic stuff. I'm not going to read the book because my general thing is I'll read a few things like the preface, the introduction, the cover, the inside cover, the rear cover. That's generally how I do things. I'm not a big reader, guys. I think what we're doing here, and I'm so grateful that Kathy has joined us. We're just trying to just hear it out. I just clicked on the wrong thing. We're just trying to hear it out, aren't we? We're just trying to go, right, let's get the information out there. We've had the help of Kathy, who is friends with the author, good friends with the author, helping us to try and figure things out. She's trying to answer your questions. We asked Kathy if she could come up with the points that people use to disagree, to say it's not true, and come up with the points that prove that it is true. So we're really trying to thrash it out and get to the bottom of things. Now, I am not doing this show to make you believe it's true or not true. That isn't my intention here. My intention is to get more information out there so that you guys can make your own mind up on if you believe it or if you don't. So you guys can make your own mind up. If you can even decide to say you don't believe, that you just want to sit on the fence and not make a decision. You can decide, you know what, I just don't know. I'm on the fence. You can stay there, or you can make it clear that you do believe it, or you can make it clear that you don't believe it. Now, people keep asking me what I believe, and I'm saying to you, at the moment, I choose to sit on the fence. I choose, until I've done my research, until I've read this book myself, until I've looked at the evidence, I won't make a decision that I do believe it. I won't make that decision. At the moment, I'm still leaning to not believing it. I'm still leaning to not believing it. But that isn't the point of this show. The point of this show is the point of this show is to give you guys the chance to make your own minds up. I don't want to influence you. I want to have no influence. Oh, look, there's no sun. I want to have no influence on your decision. Yeah, Kathy says she didn't believe it at first. I want to have no influence. I want to just play some interviews, talk about the book. We have Kathy, who has researched it, 100% researched it. She is in close contact with Dari, the author. Now, the author has messaged me. The author has messaged me, but I think the author is, how can I say it? It's very sensitive, because he feels that he's being called a fraud, yeah, a liar. And because of it, I think he's quite defensive. So the author, I do think at the moment, finds it difficult to speak to non-believers. I think the author takes it very personally. Yeah. Now, I do think, with respect, that the author, who has messaged me this morning, needs to find a way to communicate with the fans that don't believe, in a way where there can be good discussion. Yeah. I think the author probably has had a lot of hate, which has upset him. I get it. Probably made him a bit paranoid, a bit how can I say it? He's almost definitely, he's been, as Kathy says, has been barraged with hate, which is not going to help us. There needs to be a middle ground. Now, Joe has tried. Joe from Rare Elvis Photos, Joe Sins, has tried his best. Now, we know Joe believes it, which is completely his right. I respect that. I think Joe's YouTube channel is fantastic. I love his show. I've got nothing but good things to say about Joe. And it's Joe's right to believe it. Yeah? But just because Joe believes it doesn't mean we have to. Yeah? Just because anyone believes it doesn't mean we have to. We have to make our own individual decisions on whether or not we think the Lucy Desiree thing is true, whether or not the book is a story or truth. Yeah, like Dan says, it's a nicely told story. Yeah, that's what Dan said. It's a well-written story. Yeah, or it's truth, or it's truth. So we are going to come back. We're going to do a part 3 in a few hours. We're going to do a part 3, but we will start off by going through this book. Kathy's welcome to join us. Now, my stance with Dari, the author, when he contacts me, when he messages me, he's very welcome to message me. I won't embarrass him. I won't belittle him. I won't be rude. I will show him respect. But I'm not going to say to him that I believe it just to keep him happy. Yeah. My stance is this. I am a vehicle to share information. I am a vehicle to share information. Yeah, that's all I'm going to do. I put it out there. I don't want to influence. I want you guys to decide. I want you guys to decide. Yeah, you Elvis fans, you decide. Yeah, not me. Right, so I'm going to read the comments. It's been a brilliant live, guys. We've had a really, really nice morning together. Team Elvis all together, having a nice cup of tea, coffee, just chilling out, going through some info, and we're learning together. I'm learning about this topic. I haven't read the book yet, guys. I haven't read the book. So what do I know? Yeah, I'm no expert. I'm just a guy sat here chatting with you guys, and we're hoping that we can get some more information out there, get some clarity, whether it's true or not. Yeah, let's just read some comments. I'm going to read your comments, and then we're going to come back in a few hours, do a part 3. I really want to give Kathy a special thank you for helping us. I also want to say to Desiree, if he's been helping Kathy help us, thank you to Desiree, the author. I have nothing against Desiree, nothing. I respect him. I can tell this book means the world to him. So I respect that. Let's have a look. So Charles Hamilton authenticated the poem. He was the one who pronounced Hitler's diaries a fraud in 1983. Jack Doe, thank you. But I'd want proof of that. You've just said Charles Hamilton authenticated the poem. I want proof of that. Yeah, because we can say it in a sentence. Doesn't mean it's truth. But I'm pleased you've given us this information. He will speak about it, but he does not want to be barraged with hate. I agree. I agree. Now, I'm quite happy for Desiree to send me voice messages, and I'll post them on here. I'm quite happy for Desiree to send me any information, any questions, any defense, and I'll read it out on this show on the next one. Yeah. I'm not going to take sides. Kathy, I promise you, I will not take sides. I will just get the information out there. I still don't know enough to make a decision. That is my position. I don't know enough to say yes or no. Yeah. The mother could believe it, but got conception dates wrong. Thank you, Finola. Kathy, that is understandable. He would feel that way. Yeah, no, he's definitely been barraged with hate. A lot of it as well. 100%. I've read it. But I will say this: that Desiree himself has to stay calm as well, because I've read Dairy's comments and on Facebook, and they're quite angry. I think even Desiree has to calm it. Try and not make it too personal, because otherwise we're not going to speak. We're not going to communicate. So my advice to Desiree, with respect, is to try and keep it calm. Yeah. Otherwise, we're all going to be shouting at each other, aren't we? Yeah. So I don't think we are hating, but there does seem a simple answer to end. Is the DNA test end the story? Well, that isn't straightforward, is it? Because if it's true that Elvis Presley Enterprises or certain people are refusing the DNA test, we're between a rock and a hard place, aren't we? So that isn't straightforward, Pamela, but thank you. Let me show you all something Desiree just said to me a few hours ago. He said that he has been called a fraud and it's cut him deep. I understand that. But he's still, look, come on. It's his book. He has to learn to defend the book without getting angry and upset. He has to just be calm. Even me, I'm on this channel defending Elvis Presley. Yeah. I get some things said to me that are trying to provoke a reaction, to try and make me get angry or to argue. I won't argue. I don't argue. If you go back on all of my live streams, I don't argue with people. I say what I feel. I'm pretty firm on my beliefs. I disagree with people. I'm pretty firm when I disagree with people, but never arguing, never rude, never mouthy, never shouting, never swearing. I keep it civil. And this, I think when I've been reading Dairy's comments on Facebook, how he's talking to the non-believers, I think he gets too angry. And he keeps bringing up that he's accused of fraud, accused of lying. I don't think that's the right way of putting it. I actually think that the Elvis fans are just disagreeing with him and saying they don't believe it. If you tell someone you don't believe them, You're not accusing them of fraud. You're just saying you don't believe it. It's that simple. If I make a decision and I decide that this book is not true, I'm not being rude. I'm not insulting Dairy or Kathy. I just am making a mature decision to say, do you know what? It's not for me. That's all. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. We can believe or not believe in a kind, friendly way. That's all it is. Yeah. Not being rude. It's not against Dairy. It's not against Kathy. We just make our own decisions as adults. So let me just I want to read the rest of the comments and then we'll wrap it up, guys. I've really enjoyed it. We've had a very, very nice live stream this morning, guys. Oh, thank you. So you are welcome, Louis. I love this channel and all the Defending Elvis team. Yes, thank you so much. Now, remember, we are an Elvis channel as well as Defending Elvis, because I know now I'll get messages saying, how is this Defending Elvis? How is this Defending Elvis? You're supposed to be a Defending Elvis channel. Yeah, we are. And we're an Elvis channel. We bring up all new, current, old, wherever it came from, whatever decade, we talk Elvis, whether it's Defending Elvis or not. And then the next thing that people will say to me is, oh, you're just doing this for money. You're doing this for money. Come on, guys. I've been sent a coffee. That ain't money. That's just a nice thank you. If any of you think I'm making loads of money doing this, you're in dream world. I'm doing this because it's my passion and I love doing it. It's got nothing to do with money. If I want to make money on this YouTube channel, I'll just play loads of songs and movies. Yeah, I'll just play and I'll play loads of old vintage footage and I'll just get money that way. No, the topics come up as Team Elvis. As the information comes to me, we pick and choose topics. I spend a few hours here. I would say up to 4 hours doing live streams a day, maybe longer. And I would say another 3 to 4 hours just doing my research. This has nothing to do with money, guys. I'm not doing this show about Lucy, about Desiree for money. Any of you that think I'm doing this for money, you don't know me. Yeah, I've got plenty of money. I've got my own money, guys. If you guys think I'm being sent hundreds of copies, no, I'm not. If you guys think I'm being sent loads of money, no, I'm not. Yeah. So please, I heard it on the 24-hour chat. It's all about money. It's all about money. It's rubbish. Please don't say that because it insults me. It actually insults me. Right. Okay, guys. Let's just quickly read these last few comments. Louis, look at Jack Doe's comments. Scroll up. The poem was authenticated by Charles. Yeah, I did see that, Julie, but I want proof. We can all say whatever we want. I want proof that it was authenticated. How do we prove it? Hi, everyone. Scary moment. My carbon monoxide alarm was being ventilated, so I had to call the gas man. Oh, that is scary. You must be careful, Nicola. You must be careful. Let's have a look. So we all have our opinions. I believe it's true. Thank you, Karen. Do you know what? To me, if you believe it or if you don't believe it, it's great. Either way. It's either great. It's fine. It's good. Nothing wrong with believing it. Nothing wrong with believing it. It's clear that Kathy 100% believes it. I'd quite happily talk to Desiree. Desiree, if you ever watch my show, you're very welcome on our show. I would happily talk to you, Desiree. I would always show you respect and friendship. I will never embarrass you. I will not make you look bad or small. I will just be completely kind to you. And same goes for Dairy, the author. You want to talk to me, I will give you total respect. I will not humiliate you. I will not embarrass you. I won't call you a fraud or a liar. Oh, thank you, Jane. That's very kind of you to say, Jane. So, Kathy, I'm not trying to make people believe anything. I'm just answering questions and providing truth. Said to me by the Dairy, everyone can believe. Like, thank you for giving me. Oh, thanks, Kathy. You are. Kathy, you've been brilliant. Kathy, you've been brilliant. You've just been giving out the information. Either way, thank you so much. Yeah, Gio, I'm here to defend Elvis, but I'm also an Elvis channel. So we will discuss other things other than just defending Elvis. I love defending Elvis. At the moment, we want justice for Lisa Marie. We want justice for Lisa Marie because something went on for entertainment purposes, alleged abuse, and we want the authorities to deal with it. So I'm still big time defending Lisa Marie Presley. I'm not sweeping that under the rug. We must always bring it up every day. What Lisa Marie brought out in the book must be discussed every day. The abuse allegations for entertainment purposes, we must never forget Lisa's own words. Yeah, we want Michael Edwards investigated. We even want Priscilla questioned. I will keep saying that. Please don't think I'm forgetting about this. So I won't. Right, let's get quickly back to saying goodbye. I think I'm going to buy the book. I mean, I heard it. I've never read it. Julie's, it was only $6. $6, it was nothing. Did you ask proof of the pandemic before you got injected and how many boosters? Do you know what? I have no idea what you're talking about. Sorry, Jack. But let's have a look. Remember, I'm running a show. I'm running a show. There's people on this show that believe it or don't believe it or are indifferent. I am providing information with the help of Kathy and my research and the book. I'm letting people decide either way, whether they are indifferent or whether it's a yes or a no. That's all I'm doing here. Yeah. It's for entertainment purposes, guys. Right, I'm gonna have to go. So Nicola's buying the book. She's waiting for wages at the end of the month. You're doing a great job. You have to look at both sides. Yes, and even the people, Lynette, even the people that don't want to make a decision, that just want to say, do you know what, I don't know. That's good. Thank you, Lynette. Yes, Kathy, you've been great. Great, Kathy. Elvis and Lisa Marie forever. I agree. There is a lot of conveniences in the story. Guys, we're coming back for a part 3. Yeah, a couple of hours. I'm going to come back. But when I come back, we're going to go through this book a little bit. And we're going to watch some more footage. And we're going to discuss it even more. If Kathy wants to join us, she's welcome. If Derry wants to join us, he is welcome. Derry, the author. And guys, we had a brilliant live. Goodbye, everyone. Take care. I send you all love. If you've enjoyed what I did, send us a coffee, become a subscriber, become a member. It was fun. Loved it. Loved it, guys. Loved it. Loved it. Loved it. Thank you so much, Kathy. You've been great. All of you. Team Elvis, taking care of business. Team Elvis. See you later.